Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. In this one we're going to be doing some in-depth stock analysis on GameStop, ticker GME. Now this is because they do have earnings, so by the time you're watching this, or actually, probably their earnings will most likely be on now, but we're going to do the analysis now because what their earnings is doesn't matter, because we're going to give both upside and downside targets. So either way, if their earnings go well or poorly, or whether it jumps or not off earnings, you'll still have your levels. So to start off, we go onto the 4-hour and daily chart. We use standard deviation channels to give us our targets. And so if on earnings price does go up, then we're going to be looking at the recent high it made, and it's going to be between the area of 138.50 to around 148. These are going to be resistance areas. So if earnings, if it moves up on earnings, but they're nothing too special, that's most likely going to be where we hit into, and then we'll probably sell off from there, or just that would be our resistance line. However, if earnings are much better than expected and prices do push even further past that 150 level, then we're going to be looking at 177 and 190. This again is going to be heavy resistance. If we come into here, expect a sell off, and if it does hold and break over, then we'll be looking at the next target, and then at an extreme we'll be looking at around 216 to 235. But yeah, all of these levels, if prices end up rising off of earnings, these are going to be all the lines or all the resistance lines we're looking at. So again, if you're long, these can be targets, and if you're more short bias on the stock, then really we wouldn't ever recommend or look to short these first deviations, but from the second deviation, those are areas we could look to short. So from the 177 upwards, they're areas we wouldn't mind shorting. But yeah, either way, these can be low targets on the way up if earnings are quite good and you are holding it long. Now, if earnings aren't good and we end up selling off, where our target is going to be. So we're going to have a level at this 104, as that's the statistical mean on the daily, and then pushing down to $100 for that. We're going to have the psychological level and the statistical mean on the 4-hour. So really this will be some heavy support if we do come into this level. Here, this could be the bottom if it ends up selling off on earnings. We could see this coming in and holding up as support. However, if it's really bad, or downwards pressure is just really strong and it breaks through, where's our next level going to be? And really it's quite far off, and it will be a new low, at least for the last 52 weeks, and that will be coming into around the $60.50, and that is on both the daily and the 4-hour. So if we do come into this level, that is going to be quite a strong level. Really, I can't see GameStop going lower than this, at least for the time being, just because it's been a year or so since it's had its previous massive run, and it's still kind of held up value this well, even through all its earnings. So if it does come down, really that's kind of the lowest I see it going, but it's always better to be prepared. So if prices do continue down, where will further down levels be? And that would be $21 and $16, and really those are going to be our final targets, because we can't give you any levels for the third deviations because they are negative numbers, and obviously the stock can't go negative. So really if prices go down, so for the summary for prices, I guess if prices do go down, we're going to have the $105 and $100 support levels. If it breaks out and goes further down, $60.50, and again if it breaks out and goes even lower down, $21 and $16 are going to be those key levels. Now if it ends up going up on earnings instead, then we're going to have the 138.50 and the 149 resistance. If it cracks that level and continues high at 177 and 190 at an extreme, and if it does continue higher, 216 and 235. But yeah, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is probably going to fall. But either way, that's why we have targets to the up and down side, because it doesn't really matter. It's not something I'm personally going to be playing. I don't really trade GameStop, AMC, or any of these kind of stocks, but I know a lot of people want to know their targets and where prices could go, and that's all this video is, where targets are, or where pressure you expect pressure to come in. And by pressure I mean, if the stock's falling into 104, we expect buying pressure to come in. If it pushes down to $60, then we expect buying pressure to come in. but that doesn't always mean this will be the bottom or we'll get a massive bounce here. We would expect at least a temporary bounce, but if the pressure downwards is very strong, it will just it will come down, probably still bounce off this level lightly, and then break through, maybe come back and retest it, and then if it does come back and retest and fails, that's usually where you get the big flush moves down to the next deviation level. But that's it for the breakdown on GME. Let me know how this analysis helps if you're watching the earnings call live and you're doing trading the stock as it goes. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We'll see you next one, and that's it. Peace.
And maybe I'm crazy.